the song with your heart. Play the song with your heart.
And one time.
All right, let's go to the wide receivers. Top 5 wide receiver
Oh
prospects.
goodness, this I listen. I haven't watched no wide receiver film. I don't think I'm qualified to give my top five.
Really, really.
I don't believe I'm qualified.
I'll give you my top 5 right now. I'll
Okay.
go with number 1, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. I think number 2 is a toss up. You can go with Odunze or you can go with Neighbors, but I'm gonna go with Neighbors because I think he's a little bit more explosive. He just has that certain fast twitch to him that's just different than most of the receivers that I've seen so far. But I would say in the coming months, those two are going to be compared a lot because I think it's that close. They're neck and neck in my opinion because you can't go wrong with either or. But I'm gonna go with Neighbors in this one because I just think the year that he's had, although Odunze has had a great year as well, you can argue that he could have been the Bilikov Award winner as well. I just look at Neighbors in the year that he's had, and I just look at him and I say, give me Neighbors. Number 3, I would go with Rome. I think he's been tremendous. Like, there's no question about it. Now, some people might have Brian Thomas Jr. at the 3 slot instead of Rome. But me personally, I'm gonna go with Rome. Just the stuff that I've seen so far, I just think Rome has been tremendous. Number 4, I'm gonna go with Brian Thomas Jr. Just some of the film that I've seen, some of the clips that I've seen. The dude, just like with Neighbors, has that fast twitch, has that 0 to 60 speed, explosiveness. There's a reason why Jaden Daniels able to throw for all them yards because them
Yeah.
receivers are talented. Just I saw one clip where Jaden Daniels he just threw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. You know, it was just a regular like 15-yard pass off the sideline, and then Brian Thomas Jr. he caught the ball and then boom, just exploded, accelerated. I'm like, yeah, give me Brian Thomas Jr. I'm gonna put him at 4, and then number 5, I'm gonna go with Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman is getting a lot of hate. I think that he's better than what people try to act like he is. I think he's a better prospect than Quentin Johnson. Although, yeah, he has trouble separating, I do believe he does a really good job utilizing his height to his favor in order to catch contested balls. And see, here's the thing with Quentin Johnson. There's this sort of thing where okay, he has the side, he has the speed per se, even though we learn that he doesn't really have the speed, that he should be able to catch contested footballs, but that wasn't the case. Keon Coleman, that's what he specializes in. He actually can catch contested footballs. And I'll give you a comparison. Nico Collins. He's not the best at separating, but he does a really good job with utilizing his height, utilizing his size in order to be able to catch contested footballs and to be able to get somewhat of a separation. He's improved tremendously as a route runner. Keon Coleman is not the greatest when it comes to being a route runner, but he can always improve over time. And I think the fact that he already knows how to utilize his height in order to catch 50-50 balls, I think that's impressive. And I believe that he's the 5th best wide receiver prospect in the NFL draft right now. I think if a team like Baltimore, if a team with a really good quarterback is able to draft him, I think he'll be very effective. I really do. I think depending on the team he goes to, like Baltimore, they'll utilize him. The Cowboys, they'll utilize him.
Yeah.
Other teams, the Bills, they'll utilize him. Like if you put him on an offense that is already really good or that's on the cusp of being great, the Chiefs, they'll utilize him. Like, come on now, man. Like, just don't.
The Dolphins will.
Dolphins will utilize him. It all depends on where he goes to. Like, if you're gonna send him to a team where it's not a really good offense or it's a team that doesn't have a whole lot of guys that can separate like the Chargers, then yeah, he's going to probably struggle. But if you put him on a team that already has dudes that can separate, that can get open, and they just need like a 50-50 guy, like a jump ball guy, then I think he's going to strive. It's just a matter of where do you put him? Because the receivers, another thing when it comes to these receivers developing. A great example is CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb goes to the Cowboys. Who's there? Amari Cooper.
Yep.
One of the reasons why CeeDee Lamb has developed so much every single year is because he learned from Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper taught him all of these different tricks in order to get open, in order to, effectively get out of your route. He talked about it all the time. Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in the league. He's just not consistent when it comes to catching the football all the time. But look at CeeDee Lamb now. He's arguably a top 3 receiver in the NFL right now. The same could be applied for Keon Coleman, depending on where he goes. And I think he's a top 5 prospect, a wide receiver prospect, in my opinion, right now.
Okay, I think if I did do a top, I think Keon would probably be in the 5th spot, strictly because he has traits. You know he's a big guy, but he can move. He played punt. He was a punt returner, so he's good in the open space. And I don't think the FSU offense gives him a lot of opportunities to run after the catch. So he's not really being used to his fullest potential in that offense, because they have a contested catch guy, I believe.
They got
already.
another
So
dude. They got
yeah,
another dude.
what's his name? Johnny Wilson? Or
Something like that. Like, dude, they have
So,
another
yeah.
dude that's pretty good. Like before the LSU game, Keon Coleman wasn't even looked at as the number 1 wide receiver on the Florida State. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden the game rolls around and like, whoa, this dude can play. And that's when the whole sort of tide turned and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
And the thing of the difference between people want to try to label this another QJ 2.0, but Keon Coleman actually plays big. Like, he isn't just big and he doesn't attack the ball. And no, he attacks the ball. He will go up and get it. QJ, he ain't really do much. He liked the body catch and all of that. No, Keon Coleman will go and get the ball. So, I don't think this is another QJ situation. People just see a big receiver, and all of a sudden they want to put him in that category. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case with this one.
Right. So, yeah, man, that's just how I look at it. But anywho, those are my prospects. Those are my top 5 wide receiver prospects.
Look, cold world, still a cold world. And a couple y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. I spit that 6 shit and it's still no cure. Hold up, loud pack.